Good morning. If you haven't taken a seat yet, please go ahead and move on in and sit down. I think we've still got plenty of seats for everybody who would like a seat. Give everybody just a minute. So good morning. My name's John Galwin, and I'm the chairman of the board of Pure. And I want to welcome everybody to this official ribbon cutting for our new North Memphis campus here on Chelsea Avenue. This is truly a momentous day for this organization. It's historic, and it leads us to a point where we are going to be able to serve so many more young men eventually on this campus and serve them in such a better capacity than we ever have with these wonderful facilities that you're going to get to tour after these ceremonies. Before we get started with our agenda this morning, we've got a number of dignitaries with us today. And at the outset, I want to quickly recognize those who I know are here. Those who have RSVP'd, I can recognize. But if I miss anybody, please don't be shy. Usually our elected officials are not shy, so if I miss you, let me know about it. But I want to start. We've got some representatives of the state of Tennessee. We're very privileged to have this morning with us the Speaker of the House, State Representative Cameron Sexton. We've got State Representative Mark White. I believe we've got State Representative John Gillespie from District 97 here with us. We also are very honored to have with us both mayors. You tell them. We got Mayor Paul Young from the city of Memphis, and we've got the Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris with us this morning. Thank you so much for being here. We also have the Chief of Police, Memphis Police Department Chief C.J. Davis. We've got, I think, Lance Villio from the Governor Lee's administration is somewhere here with us, or is supposed to be. We've got some officials from the County Commission with us. We've got Commissioner Charlie Caswell. We've got, I think, Commissioner Mick Wright is here. I know Commissioner Edmund Ford Jr. said he was going to be here, along with some City Council officials. We've got I think Chairman J.B. Smiley. We've got our own councilwoman from our district here, Michael and Easter Thomas, who's going to do something for us here in a little bit. And then I think Edmund Ford Sr., Ford Canale, Jerry Green, and Janice Swearingen Washington from all city council members have joined us today, or will be. And then one of our partners from Shelby County Juvenile Court, represented by Judge Tariq Sugarman, who has been a real friend of this organization and an ally to us. I met from the Shelby County Sheriff's Department, high-ranking official Anthony Buckner, who's with us today. I think the Chief Administrative Officer from the Juvenile Court, Stephanie Hill, has joined us. I believe our District Attorney, Steve Mulroy. And so to all of our elected officials who have helped this organization so much, thank you, and thank you for being here. Please give them a big round of applause. We've got a lot of people that are going to address you this morning in some short speeches, but I just want to start out and just tell you very briefly about what I've experienced with this organization. Going on 10 years ago, the life of my wife, Tammy Galwin, intersected with that of a man named Melvin Cole. As those things go, my life quickly intersected with Melvin shortly thereafter, and our lives have never been the same. In those days, Melvin's modus operandi was to take young men in, mentor them, provide for them, house them at his own home, But he typically, for education, tried to get scholarships to different area Memphis schools, private schools, so that they could attend and go on to college. And so from the beginning, he was creating first-generation college students. But that business model came to a screeching halt in 2016 when he had a group of young men who were all scheduled to start school in a couple of weeks at a Memphis private school, and he got the unfortunate news that they had all not passed the entrance exam. And so Melvin, being Melvin, called the audible at the line of scrimmage, but the next call he made was to my wife, Tammy, and the homeschool of Pure was then formed. Pure's dorm at that time were a bunch of bunk beds in Melvin's dining room in his home-to-home that he rented. And for a while, the classroom was in my dining room at my house. So as you can see, we've come an awful long way. Tammy and our board member, Harvey Kay, back there, who's hiding on the back row, they started homeschooling the young men, and they quickly went out and recruited a young guy named Freddie Smith to tutor the boys in math and science, and the rest is sort of history as we sit here today as a private school in the state of Tennessee. For those of you who've heard me talk about Pure before, I used to refer to Pure as just sort of a series of minor miracles. But I can tell you this, that's no longer true. All it's been in recent years is a series of major miracles. And it's really miracles that you all here today have participated in, allowing God to make you his instrument in carrying out his will. What began as just Melvin, Tammy, and Harvey housing and educating a very small group of boys has become something really special, something resulting in tremendous outcomes. In the morning, I start out my day, and I ask each day, giving gratitude to God. I ask for increase in faith, hope, and charity, and I ask him to help me align my will with his will. The Pure experience for Tammy and me has been just exactly that. And now there's just such a large group of people in this organization who are supporting this cause that Melvin Cole created so many years ago and is now living out and making happen because of all of you. Thank you, Melvin, for everything you do. Thanks to the Pure staff, the teachers, the coaches, the volunteers, the student leaders. And I also want to thank the students, because when they come into this organization, they step up, they know what the guidelines are, and they choose to follow them, and then they succeed. So I commend the students of Pure. But I thank all of you here today for your support. There are a whole room full of people that deserve to be specifically recognized, but I can't do that or we'd be here until the end of the day. But there's some special people that have really helped in a big way, and I want to recognize those people. And the first is really the Orgel family. So Mrs. Irene Orgel, Adele Welford, Ann and Mike Keeney, Kate and Mike Budarazzi, Irene and Fred Smith, and their daughter Kate Mallory and her husband Neely, and there are other family members from their family here who have supported this organization. And the family as a whole has really done so much for us to make this possible today, and we thank you. Please give them a big round of applause. I want to thank Tom and Ellie Lawrence and their family members. I think Nina Talo and Lindsay might be here with them. Tom, you knew Melvin, I think, a good bit before I knew Melvin, and Tammy knew Melvin. And in a couple of years, you came back here to us in a really big way. And your recent announcement of what you and Ellie and your family are doing for this organization is really making a difference. And I know also, based on our conversations, you're going to be making a difference here for a really long time in a lot of ways. And we thank you all so much for your support. Please give them a big round of applause. I want to recognize some other people who have helped us in a big way, Gary and Dina Dotson, Bill and Leslie Pretch, the Formanek Foundation, specifically its director Eric Robertson and Mary Lee Formanek, the Assisi Foundation, and of course the City of Memphis, one of our first real supporters back in the early days when I think we got a $40,000 grant, which was the most money we had ever seen in one check. The Shelby County government, the Shelby County Commission, the police department, the juvenile court, and of course the state of Tennessee through its ESA program makes up such a big part of our operating budget. And now with the Freedom Scholarship that was just passed, will be even more helpful. But before I end my thanks to specific people, I want to recognize our general contractor of this project, Standard Builders. So there are two guys that own that company. Chris Jameson is one of them, hiding in the back. And he and his partner, George Hampton, they didn't just help us with this. They came in on our original campus on Amy Road and didn't charge us a penny. They renovated, they did demolition work, they came back and fixed things for us. And then they came into this campus and they renovated. And I can tell you, when big donations were pledged and we expected them on this date and that date came and the check hadn't arrived, old Chris Jameson and his crew, they kept working when any other contractor would have said, well guys, when you get the money, we'll be right back. So thank you. That in itself is one of the biggest charities. There was a fellow named Larry Robertson who's part of the Standard Builders family, and he was the project manager on this job and died unexpectedly very recently. And so in memory of Larry, I just want to call him out specifically for all he did for us. And we share in Standard's loss of Larry and thank Standard for everything he did. And then our day-to-day superintendent, Domingo Frael, he's been here every day for us. So these guys have just been absolutely wonderful. And then last but not least, I want to thank my wife, Tammy Galwin, who literally, I think, has shed blood, sweat, and tears to help make this happen with Melvin. She and Melvin together have willed this thing into being, and the only way she's done that is by aligning her will with God's will and allowing herself to be God's instrument in making that happen. So thanks to God, and to do that better than I can do it, I'm going to call on Pastor Tim Bowers to come up here and give us the invocation. He's from True Fellowship Ministries, and please welcome Tim for that.
Now that protocol has been satisfied, this is the best Memphis. This is the best of Memphis. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. And oh yes, we know that all things work together for the good for them that love the Lord, those that are called according to his purpose. Heads are bowed, hearts are light, eyes are closed. Heavenly Father, we come before you with hearts full of gratitude and anticipation. As we celebrate the opening of Peer Academy, we thank you for this new chapter, a place where young men will grow in knowledge, character, and purpose. Bless the school as it becomes a sanctuary for learning, a place of growth for academic excellence in athletics as well. We lift up these students, Lord. They stand at the threshold of greatness. Oh, yes. We pray that they are filled with courage to embrace the challenges ahead and wisdom to learn from every experience. May they become leaders who inspire change and men who walk in integrity. We thank you for the teachers, stakeholders, coaches, and staff, and in particular, a special man, Brother Cole. They are the guides who shape these young lives. We pray for strength and wisdom as they nurture not just the minds, but hearts, helping these young men discover their true potential. To our generous donors, we thank you for your support and their support. Their belief in this mission is an investment in the future, and we ask that you bless them abundantly. May their contributions be multiplied in the lives of the students they serve. As we embark on this journey together, we ask for your continued guidance. May Peer Academy be a place where dreams and nurtured and futures are shaped. We know that the future is not something we wait for, but something we create with our guidance. In your name we pray. Amen. As a pastor, I wouldn't be worth my salt if I did not do this. Real quickly. Men, will you stand up? Students, will you stand up? Quickly, I want you to repeat after me, okay? I want you to repeat after me. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Congratulations. God bless you.
Well, the next guy needs absolutely no introduction. I'll consider him the man of the hour. Please welcome Melvin Cole.
Thank you. So I was wondering what speech I was going to give, and we had all these different talking points, and I had no clue. But I took it to meditation, as I do a lot of the things that I struggle with and I have to understand. So I've had Mr. Glenn as a mentor for maybe the last 6-7 years to guide me through pretty much everything, from business, family, relationship, friends, all of the above. Well, we met 2 weeks ago for lunch, and he had a book, and it was right now. I said, Mr. Glenn, what's that? And he said, Melvin, but God. I said, but God? Tell me a little more, because it didn't sink in. He said, Melvin, so many things have happened in my life, and I sat back and I said, but God. I said, dog. Okay. Got it. Well, this morning out of meditation, God told me to share with all of you my but God moments. And it started tearing my kidney in Bowling Green, Ohio, playing football. When the doctor came in 5 times in 1 week and said I was gonna die, where they put my legs in a machine to trick them to make sure they wouldn't get blood clots. But God. And I'm here today. I was involved in a drug deal that went wrong in Chicago, Illinois. Guys shot me in the head and in the back and left me for dead. But God sent everybody that I need to get me right here today. But God. I always wanted to be the best drug dealer in the world. And I knew what that came with. Life in prison, death, but I was okay with it. When I've caught my first 2 cases, I was facing over 60 years in prison. And I refused to snitch on anyone. But God allowed me to get the best attorney. God allowed favor on the judge, the jury, and the people that was around that spared my life with only 68 months and an early parole after 2.5 years. And I was prepared to spend 40, but God. Just like John said, I had an ideal. Kids live with me, go to a private school, change the trajectory of their lives. That day when that man said they scored in the 0th percentile in reading, writing, and math. So I have no idea what that means. What does that mean? They can't come here. But God saw the opportunity, reached out to Tammy, and we launched Peer Academy from the gym. But God. Well, it was a time where our first student, Tevin Carter, got a scholarship in the 8th grade. We was all on the news and we was excited and everything was good. Then we get a call from the landlord. Man, when we see you on the news, you're doing great things. I said, yeah, I am. He said, but I got one problem. We don't rent to convicted felons. So you and your boys are not welcome back. But God allowed Tammy and John Godwin to purchase our first property. And I said, John, if you do it, in 3 years, I'll buy it back from you. But God. Well, we got to the Whitehaven campus, and we had a little construction money, and I wanted to be Bob the Builder. So I said, well, I'll pay a little bit, and then I'll stretch a little bit, and I'll do a couple hammers. Well, it turned into a complete disaster from the point that me and the boys were sleeping with conventional heaters because I had messed everything up. But God allowed me to have a great friend at the time that wasn't even a board member. And we went to lunch, and I said, I need a roof. Can you come check it out? He said, Melvin, you don't need a roof. You need a house. And but God, we transformed Whitehaven campus, 3.5 acres, to one of the most beautiful things in the world that sent over 25 first-generational students to college. They got an 86% matriculation rate to school. But God. And the last but God moment for now, we looked at Amy Road. I said, man, I can't wait till that trailer's gone so we can build more dorms. Tammy said, no, you can't build any dorms. I said, what are you talking about? I'll do whatever I want. She said, you don't remember the city said that all we can have was 30 kids. I said, Tammy, God didn't get me out of prison for 30 kids. No way. But God, I got a phone call about this place that I had no idea existed. Me and my security and Tammy, we actually broke into a branded building. She was fresh off the highway from North Carolina. I said, you gotta see this, because this is gonna change Memphis forever. But God. So I'll leave you for this time and I'll just tell you, I'm only standing here because of God. Thank you. I appreciate y'all for coming out.
We got a little surprise on the agenda. With us, our city councilwoman, Michaeline Easter Thomas, has a proclamation she would like to present to Pure. Maybe I surprised her.
Surprise it is. Surprise it is. But for a very good reason. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Melvin, it's such a great day. It's such a great day. You all, if you did not know, you're in the wonderful District 7 in the city of Memphis, where we all are coming together today to celebrate a great opportunity, not only for the young men that Melvin is bringing in, but for the neighborhood, for the community, and really a vision of inspiration that we see here today on Chelsea Avenue. And so you all, just from the City of Memphis City Council, not only have we been able to give our funds, but also give our prayers, give our supports, and also our presence, but we just want to add one more thing to making it official through the City Council of offering just a resolution to Pure Academy. So I will not read it all, right? But just a tidbit as we get into today. Right? So on occasion, the Memphis City Council recognizes institutions that uplift and empower you, fostering academic success, character development, future opportunities, and today we have the grand opening of the North Campus of Pure Academy. And this is an occasion that is worthy of recognition. They provide small class sizes, residential support, mentorship, athletic programs, and I have seen firsthand on how they're instilling discipline, teamwork, peak performance. You all saw the young men as you walked in this morning, right? Right? They're fostering holistic student support, partnerships with top coaches, counselors, trainers, and not only being led by one of the great Melvin Cole, but also their new principal, Dr. Prima Atwell as well. Pure Academy, founded by Melvin Cole, overcame adversity. He just gave us his but God story, but he is a transformative leader. And I look forward to seeing how many countless first-generation students are on to college, career, and greater opportunities, making the city of Memphis shine even brighter, making us even better, making us an even stronger community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Councilwoman Dr. Michaeline Easter Thomas, along with the entire Memphis City Council, we proudly recognize Pure Academy North Campus, commend Melvin Cole for his dedication, and extend our best wishes for the Academy's continued success for young men now and all of the young men and maybe young ladies, right, to come and transforming their lives. So please join me again as we will this entire morning, right, celebrating the grand opening of Pure Academy and Mr. Melvin Cole.
So, as I mentioned earlier, with us today, we have the Speaker of the House of Representatives from the Tennessee General Assembly, Cameron Sexton has represented the 25th District, and for the last, I believe, 5 years has served in the speaker's role, and before that in House leadership, and was recently instrumental in passing some legislation that I'm sure you've read about in terms of the Freedom Scholarships, which we appreciate very much. And so with no further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Speaker of the House, Cameron Sexton.
Thank you. It's great to be with you today on this historic day. It's great to see you, Chief and Mayors. It's great to be here with you again. Thank you all for coming out to support Pure Academy. I visited with Melvin on a hot summer day here in Memphis back in July. I made the tour over to the old campus, and this campus is wonderful. But I will tell you, is when you meet Melvin the first time, it doesn't take long to fall in love with Melvin. And he started talking about his journey, and he talked about why he wanted to start Pure Academy and what direction he was wanting to go, and it was built on faith. It was built on God. It was a vision that he was given to make a community better, but to also help struggling kids have a different chance in life. And so as we were touring that facility and we were going through, it was magnificent. They weren't the best conditions, to say the least. But he was super proud of the students and the work that the community has done and that you all have done to help support that vision. And I can tell you, as I'm standing here and I've gone into a lot of high schools and I see the lion on the wall, I can tell you I've never seen a lion on the wall with a crown on it. That's all you need to know about Pure right there. And I think we would be a lot better off in our country, in our state, and just as humans, if we put our faith in God and was willing to share it and not be scared to talk about Him. If we put faith in each other, if we put faith in our students, and we put faith back into our families. And I know a lot of times there may be issues that people agree and disagree on, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, we all really do just want to have a better place for the next generation. And the best thing to know about Pure is when the individuals who came to Pure Academy, their limitation in life was not themselves. That was not their limiting factor. Although I think people sometimes think that their limits are their own limits. It's the limits sometimes that they can't control. Pure Academy gave people the ability to see further than what they thought their limits would be. And the success that he has shown and the staff has shown, and the community has shown in this, shows you that when you follow a vision of God and you stand on faith and you're willing to make the sacrifices needed, the impact that you will have is instrumental. The generations that Pure will change and has changed will go on forever. And as we look at empowering families and empowering students and empowering communities to make a difference in their child's educational journey, let's don't put arbitrary limits. Let's don't accept the status quo. Let's put our faith in God and ask Him to show us how we want to move forward. Because at the end, if we put our faith where we should put our faith, we will win every single time. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A gentleman named Mark White has been a friend of Pure's for a long time. He's state representative from District 83, representing Germantown, Bartlett, Cordova, and East Memphis. Last year when we were venturing up to Nashville for the first time as an organization, getting to meet with the governor and a number of officials, Mark just couldn't have been more helpful to the cause of Pure. He's visited us many, many times, has spoken to the boys. So Mark, thanks for being with us, and I welcome you. I'd like to welcome at this point and invite to make any remarks that you'd like to make Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris. He came out to the Amy Road campus about a year ago and has gotten to know our organization. And then with our friends here from the County Commission and all of the county government and Harold Collins and a lot of people who've just taken a real interest in Pure, Mayor Harris has really helped Pure, and I welcome him and hope you will join us in making a few remarks for us.
Well, it's really great to be here in Shelby County and to be in this neighborhood, a very special place in Memphis and Shelby County. In fact, years ago when I was on the city council, I represented this neighborhood, and it's great to be back home in a sense, and to be here at Pure Academy North, which is going to be the heart of this community. I'm really honored to celebrate this, and I see County Commissioner Charlie Caswell is, of course, up here on stage, but also Commissioner Mikkel Lowry is here. Let's get him to wave his hand and give him a round of applause wherever he is. So I appreciate these two gentlemen being here and all of the county commissioners because they were ready to plug in and support Pure Academy very recently, and I want to thank them for their support. I also recognize, I think the one name I just hadn't heard, I don't know, is Kemp Conrad, former council member who I served with, who's really been, beating the bushes on behalf of Pure Academy and making the sale, and he's really, really great at that. So thank you, Kemp Conrad, for introducing many of us to the work of Pure Academy. I was able to bear witness to the transformative work that Pure Academy does when I went and visited the Whitehaven area, and now I'm really pleased to celebrate the expansion of their work here, because what they're doing is truly extraordinary. They're combining athletics and education, and I should mention all-male education, which is a very special type of education. And I say that as someone who went to the only all-male HBCU in America, I think y'all know it well, Morehouse College. And at places like that, campuses like this, they really focus a lot on character and building community, and I think that's what we see all around us. And so it's wonderful to be here in the heart of this community in this amazing gym replete with red carpet and Jumbotron, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Thanks to Melvin and John and all the partners, and congratulations. Thanks very much.
As I mentioned in the beginning, Pure had initiated a partnership with Juvenile Court not long ago, and we have really gotten to spend a whole lot of time with Judge Tarek Sugarman, the chief judge over in Juvenile Court, and his folks have really worked with us to bring a real new aspect to our organization, but Judge Sugarman's support, which has been tremendous. We appreciate you so much. I'd like to call on you at this time to join us up here at the podium. Make some noise.
Thank you, John and Melvin and the Pure Academy, the coaches, the staff, and the board. When I first assumed the position at Juvenile Court, I realized that the efforts we're making to rehabilitate our youth really depends on having residential placement. I reached out to Melvin Cole early on when I heard about Pure Academy. They have a 100% graduation rate, 87% admission to college. The other 13% have gone on to trade schools, and they continue to track the progress of these young men through college and trade schools to make sure they have the support, social support, and emotional support that they need to matriculate. When I saw the work that they did, I realized this is something we need to be involved with. Now, you call us a partner. I think we're more of a dependent because we are dependent on the work that you do in our community to rehabilitate our children. And it helps us in our work to look at statistics. When I look at the fact that Memphis, in communities that are impoverished, where children are coming out of communities that are like war zones, only 4% of those matriculate to college. And in areas such as the area of Chelsea, I have a house at 4th and Looney, where I spent most of my years as a private practitioner. Only about 1% of those matriculate to college. When I saw the work that Pure did, and what my mission was at Juvenile Court was to find safe havens for these children, I asked to refer one of our young men who was in a situation, and it actually come off of one of our DNN dockets. We often find that children who are on the dependency neglect dockets transfer over, and nationally 45 to 75% of those born into poverty transfer over to delinquent acts. And I asked that they take a chance with this young man. He was playing football already at the school he was in. And Melvin allowed me to send him over there. Well, he called me back a day or so later. We have a problem. I'm thinking, oh my Lord, what has this young man done? He said, he has an ankle bracelet on. I said, well, that's to track his whereabouts. He said, well, we have to try out. He has to work out. He has to be able to walk to the store with his coaches and his partners on the team. And so I took it off. That young man has finished now and has gone on. These are the success stories. He talks about his problems as a young man, and but for God. But fortunately, all of us can be but for members of this community, but for the coaches in my life. And I struggled with ADD as a child. I was making C's and D's when my friends were making A's and B's. But for my coaches, but for my neighbors, but for the people that poured into me, I was able to be here today. So I want to thank Melvin for giving that young man an opportunity, and thank you all in the community. We are one of the most giving communities in this country, for giving to this institution and support Pure. And I promise you, the rewards will be turned over hand over fist. And one last request I have, Melvin, I want to get the first Lion Pure hoodie when you start putting them out. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Judge. Talking about but for God, you know, we have got some real friends and allies in both the county and the city government. And sitting over here to my left is Commissioner Charlie Caswell, who has become a tremendous friend of Pure and has come through for Pure, seemingly carrying the water at the county commission for us in helping to make this happen. So thank you, Commissioner Caswell, and please come up and address our crowd. Thank you so much.
And I'll be quick. How y'all doing this morning? I just can't say enough about my time and spending with Melvin. And I say this, that when I went down to visit the campus, I had to get the mayor, and I went back to tell the mayor, you got to go down with us to see this campus and the great work that they're doing for the youth in our community. As a young person that grew up myself in the projects of Dixon Home, when I look at these young men, and many times hearing that I wasn't going to make it out of that project, I was going to either be dead or in jail. But to see an organization that give these young men this opportunity, this is one of the best return on investment we can give to the citizens of our county. When we talk about all the negative that goes on in the news, to see what Melvin and this board and this body is doing is life-changing. So I am, and I just told the mayor, I'm going to continue, and I want to thank my colleague, Mikael Lowry, and the county commission. I'm going to continue to fight for resources to come into this work, because this work is changing and transforming our life. This is District 6, the best district in the county. God bless you.
All right, and then on the City of Memphis side, as I mentioned earlier, the city is going back a long ways, has been so helpful to us. And we've got a fairly new mayor, Mayor Paul Young, who, you know, comes from a background of work with the Downtown Memphis Commission and you know, planning and just understanding the financial side of city government so well. And as he has come into office here, he has come and visited us and been a part of this organization. I believe even at his inauguration, he was sending us support on day one. And we so appreciate the mayor being with us here. Please welcome Mayor Paul Young.
Thank you for the introduction, John. Melvin, this is a beautiful day, man. I'm honored to be here to see this opening with you. And I want to salute to our city council members. I see Jerry Green, Jana Swearingen Washington, Philip Spinoza, Janika White, J.V. Smiley, Chase Carlisle. We got about half the city council here because this is an important event. And obviously you saw Michael and Easter Thomas earlier. But we're all here because this is important for our city. I want you to know that. This is important for our city. It almost brings tears to my eyes to think about the fact that we've had some very, very difficult times as a city over the last couple of years. You all have lived through it like I have. I think about the tenor and tone when I was running for mayor and when I came into office and the way people have felt about crime in our city and all the discussions and fights we have about what we're going to do to change it. And you are a beacon of hope for our city. This project is a beacon of hope for our city. In those discussions about public safety, you have people that say, well, you just got to lock them up because they're criminals. To that I say, yes, if they're committing crimes, do it. And then you have other people that say, well, we got to get to the root cause. Yes, we do. But the reality is it's both and. And it's not a Republican or Democrat thing. And that's why I'm glad we have Republicans and Democrats in the building today. Because at the end of the day, it's about what's going to change the lives of the people that have made these decisions. And what's going to change their lives is giving them another option. You see, what's happening in our community is our young people are making logical decisions. And I know that may sound crazy, but if the only option you know to get some money in your pocket is to go break a car window and somebody gonna give you $100 for every gun you find, it's a logical decision to go do those things. They don't have people in their communities that are showing them something different. And there are some young people, unless you're able to remove them from the environment, the options are gonna remain very limited and few. And what this project does is it gives our kids an option. It gives our young people hope, our young men an opportunity to see a different path. Sometimes we don't realize that the lives we live is a dream to others. To come home and have dinner on the table every day, that's not reality for far too many in our community. And so as we are here today, united in solidarity to support this project, let's remember that we still have to do more. We want to see this project grow. We want to see young women to be able to get the same opportunity you're giving to the young men. And I know that's the future, but I like to think big because we have a vision for our city. Our city is going places. I believe in Memphis deeply. It made me everything I am. I love this city, and I want you to love it the same. But we're going to have to pour into opportunities like this in order for us to get to where we're going. So I just want to say thank you to you, thank you to the young men, and thank you to the state, the county, the city, and everybody that's playing a role in making this happen. Thank you.
So a few years ago, Chief C.J. Davis came to Memphis. Long career in law enforcement and some great leadership roles, spent a lot of time in Atlanta. But she came to the city of Memphis with some fresh ideas in law enforcement. And she came to know PURE not too long ago and has become a big supporter of PURE as the Memphis Police Department looks at ways to prevent crime and find out what the roots of crime are and address those. And so we at PURE really appreciate her leadership and her support. Please welcome Chief C.J. Davis.
Thank you. I really want to cheer right now. I'm in a gym. Of course, Pastor Bowers turned it into a church, but I want to take it back to the gym. I used to be a cheerleader. Let's give Melvin a round of applause. The best Super Bowl round of applause that you can give him. Yes. 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 Thank you. I think everybody who has come to the mic is sort of emotional and misty-eyed. I met Melvin about 3 years ago at an event, and he started to tell me about his spot. And I said, this guy is so excited about whatever spot this is. I'm going to go and see what he's doing. And so on a hot summer day, it was hot, it was muddy at his spot, but he was so proud to show me every room, every crevice, every storage room, the kitchen, the playroom. He wanted to show me everything. And I was excited to see that a young man who had a story like Melvin Coles decided that he was going to pay it forward and give it back to young men that looked like him. So as I went through these different rooms where our young people were bunked, all I could smell was athletes' feet. I was overcome by it. And I realized that this young man has immersed himself in the rawness, in the innocence of our young men who deserve a chance. They deserve a chance to have life in a different way. And Melvin talked about this day and wanting to expand his reach because our city so desperately needs it. We have said over and over again that we can't arrest our way out of crime, but we have to do something about the other side. We have to do something about giving our young people another opportunity. So today, I am pleased to say that the Memphis Police Department has invested in this. And we will continue to invest in this because this is the answer, the holistic approach that the mayor has talked about and everybody on this platform has talked about is where we are in a position not just to help plant this seed, but to continue to water it. So I thank you all for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this amazing, amazing day. And he has taught every last one of these young people to recite Invictus. Invictus is the Latin term for incomparable, undefeated. And when they recite it, they believe it. And we need to continue to support them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. The police department's support is just a game changer for us, and we can't thank you enough. Pure has spent a lot of time in front of the city council, and Melvin and Tammy and I have traipsed down to many a meeting seeking approval of private development applications and getting special use permits to be able to have high school dormitory, things like that. And as a lawyer, that's not something that I ever did before, but I've done a lot of it now. And I can tell you, we've got some connections. We've got Jerry Curry on our board who did a tour of duty up there on the city council, Kemp Conrad who chaired the organization. But when you go into the committees and the city council and you see some friendly faces up there and they take a vote and suddenly they all know what we're doing and the votes become unanimous and the discussions about things shorten because they understand what we're doing, we really know that we have friends and partners at the city council that we appreciate so much. And one of those people here today is Councilman Chase Carlisle, whose friendly face looking down from the council has been welcomed many times. But we thank him so much for his support, and I'd like to ask him to come up and make a couple of remarks.
It's very, very kind. Thank you. It's a team sport with legislative politics. Those of you know me that know that I don't really have a big issue with talking, but every time at these events, my heart starts going about 100 miles an hour. I'm sure for some of the pros, they've figured out a trick or two. It's because I always feel like an imposter at these events. You know, we play such a small role. I keep something written on my desk that says, "You are not important. The office you hold is. The people you serve are. The work is never done." And so my staff helped me write very eloquent words because, like Dr. Easter Thomas, you know, your kids get busy, and I didn't have a chance to put in the time and effort. And I wish I could read those. They're very eloquent, and she did a wonderful job. But as I sat here and listened, most of it's been said. And so I thought about where we are as a coach. You know, I've spent many years coaching. We always tell our players, you know, this is kind of like the pep rally before the game, right? But the work's already been done, and the work continues. Men, the work to win games is at 5:30 in the morning when no one's looking. It's at 3:45 in the rain before the lightning's hit. It's in the weight room on a Saturday when no one wants to go. The game's set before you ever start. And so what does that mean for us as a community? We need to celebrate this moment and enjoy it, but our work's not done. What inspires me so much right now is if you could see what we see right here, right now. When Mayor Young took office, he talked about one Memphis. When he had a State of the City, he said, yes, we can. But it's the we and the one that matters. And if you could see the confluence of people, different races, different economic statuses, different parts of the city, all sitting in one room with one goal to make it better and to give opportunity, if you'll keep doing the work when no one's looking, when you leave this room, if you will keep doing the work, it will get better. I lost a dear friend to cancer at 40 years old this year. He was an increment 1 foot in front of the other. Do the little things and the big things will take care of themselves. So I'm so proud to have an opportunity to play a privilege and a role in it. The City Council, my colleagues that are here, this went with all 13 members sponsoring the resolution to fund this. It won't be our last. We appreciate all the people, the board that have done the work when no one's looking. Please keep doing the work. And before you walk out of here, you better say hi to somebody, and not just hi in passing. Get their name, introduce yourself, meet your neighbor, whether they live in Frazier, Boxtown, Westwood, East Memphis, Chickasaw Gardens, they're still a Memphian. And they're the people that are going to help you move this city forward. God bless you, and thank you to Melvin and everybody. Young men, go get a championship.
All right, you've heard from and about all the people who have made this possible, but now you're about to hear something from the guys that it's all about. I understand at this time we've got some students that are here to make a little presentation. got good news today. Chris Jameson, our contractor, informed us that we are moving in officially. So to these young men, you enjoy it. You enjoy it. So now is the moment of the ribbon cutting. Yeah. Melvin's going to make some remarks, and then we'll do that.
Y'all give my babies one more round of applause. So I gotta go back to that lunch. So in that lunch, Mr. Glenn also suggests I read a book called Good to Great. So in chapter 2, as a level 5 leader, it speaks about a mirror and a window. When things are going wrong, you look in that mirror. When things are going right, you look out the window. So with that being said, I would like to recognize all my board members, if y'all could stand up, because they truly allowed me to make these opportunities possible for these young men. Y'all could do better than that, come on now. Thank y'all. We all know I'm not the principal, but I've tried several times. Well, I'd like to take this time to recognize our principal, Miss Dr. Adwell. Not only was she in this school before it got shut down, today is also her birthday. So if y'all can give her a round of applause. Well, we've all heard the old saying, behind every great man is a greater woman. She's not mine, but can y'all please take this time, because she put together this building, the organization. When the kids go crazy, I go crazy, the board members go crazy, everybody go crazy. She found a way to keep us together. So if y'all could stand up and please give the glue, Miss Tammy Garvin, a round of applause, please. It's true, women run the world. It's true. I just got a small country. So with that being said, now we will move to the ribbon cutting ceremony. Come together.
Thank you.
Think everybody got scissors?
Before we move out, can I have all of our juvenile court staff that are here come up and take a picture, please? All of our juvenile court staff, please come up and take a picture.